Right, hello and welcome to Detroit. Now, why are we in Detroit? Well, we've been invited here to try out and see what it's like now. Don't take my word for it, let's hear what a local thinks and what a local says. I've got Chris here from the tourism board. Chris, tell us what Detroit is like now in 2023.
Yeah, David, it's really great to be here with you, and Detroit absolutely has had a transformation. Over the last 20 years, the crime rate has dropped by more than half. So this has become one of the 10 safest downtowns in the entire country. The city is just a fantastic welcoming place for families and for really anybody that wants to explore what makes a great American city because of our art, our culture, and the place of innovation that Detroit has, not just for the American economy, but for the global economy.
And you understand why Detroit has had this reputation,
Totally,
of course.
Yeah.
But is now the time to start coming back for people to have trust in the city again and want to come and return?
I think this is the time when people really should come back, because you're going to get to see Detroit at the beginning part of its upswing. If you come in 10 years, you'll be one of those people that said, "Oh, I wish I could have been there when when I was in the know." This is sort of America's best kept secret, and that's what a Canadian publication just recently, a publication out of Toronto, just called Detroit that, because of that older reputation, people haven't been traveling here as much as they probably should be with all of the incredible attractions that we do have in the community.
Yeah. And it's such a shame because there is so much, isn't there? There is so much culture, there is so much music, and it's such a great vibe here as well.
Right. Well, we like to have a good time. This is a place that knows how to throw a good party. And whether it's the Motown Museum or the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History, the Detroit Institute of Arts, our incredible Detroit Riverfront Conservancy, which has been the #1 river walk in the United States for the last 3 years. This is a place that has a lot going on.
And it all looks so clean and so fresh and so new and cool. I won't point at the hipsters and how cool they all look around here right now. You might see them in the background in a second. But it attracts the right people now. It's got the right people and the right kind of age and everything. How do you do it?
I mean, I think the way that Detroit has done this is organic. I mean, it goes to the thing that we've been doing for a long time, which is creating great art, great music. And when you create great art and music, that's what attracts other people to come and want to live in a really special place and want to come visit a very special place.
That's hard to do as well, though, because of so much happened here in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
How did the investment come through? What was that catalyst? What changed? What made people or investors want to invest in Detroit again?
Absolutely. Well, I do want to say that, I mean, people had been doing great things the entire time. Even at the point where it wasn't, the city was struggling, this was when black Detroiters invented techno music. This was when black artists were helping to refurbish blighted neighborhoods. And that focus on diversity, which Detroit has in abundance, has now become a focus on equity and inclusion and a return of capital and investment into the city. So Michigan-based billionaires started reinvesting in the city. The guys like Dan Gilbert, Bedrock and Rocket companies, they've put a lot of money into downtown. The Illich family into the Midtown District Detroit area. There's so many people that have wanted to reinvest in a community that is diverse and inclusive and really a model of what an American city can be when it's at its best.
How is it going with attracting people domestically, first of all, as well? Are people getting the hint now? Are they realising that the secret's out, do you feel? Or do you think we still have a bit of a way to go?
There's still a ways to go. This is a city that in 1950 had 1.8 million people. Now we have between 650 and 700,000 people. But there are people moving back into the community. There are people that are choosing to stay in the community instead of leave. And that's a sign of, to me, of an exceptional amount of progress. And when you look around, I mean, how could you not want to be a part of something like this? It is so clean, it's so vibrant. There's a lot going on in Detroit right now.
And what I love, even just looking at the buildings behind us, the Art Deco ones are still here because that investment didn't come in at the point where all the others knocked them down.
That's exactly right. So, look, we struggle. There's no doubt. I'm not going to tell you that we made our own problems, but one of the happy byproducts of that was that in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, these beautiful 1910s, 20s buildings weren't knocked down as they were in many other American cities, and that is a really important thing for keeping our great character and why we have such a great design ethos here.
Now, what are people saying? What's the feedback people are giving you guys about the city now when they come and visit?
People are blown away when they come to Detroit because they had that reputation that the city was not in a great spot. They still think of us as it was in the 1990s, and so when they come here and see all the things that they can do, hear our great music, go to the great music venues that we have, and then of course see our great art and culture, that's when people are just blown away.
And I'm going to add to this as well, because last night we went out here in downtown and I felt safer here, and it had the same vibe as easily felt safer as a town in the UK, as in our local city, because everyone is happy and smiley. And I'm not just saying this, by the way. It is clean, it's fresh, it is cool, and it's a pleasure to be around. The cool brands are here, like the Sugar Factory and all these big brands that are around. They want to be here. They want to invest in Detroit, which is really cool to see.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a city where people are making investment, and it's also what makes it really special is that it's local folks that have made that incredible investment in their own community as well.
And finally, to look to the future, so we've got the Grand Prix happening through the streets of Detroit next weekend, which is going to be very exciting to watch, and I can't wait to see this on the screen. Then you've got the NFL draft. Why is everyone wanting to come here? Well, I know why, but it must be really nice to see people trusting in you and getting everything in there.
I think it's a great validation of all of the work that's been happening for the last 20 years. And it's a sign that I think more things are coming. We look out through the rest of the decade, and there's the major college basketball tournament championship's going to be held here in 2027. That's going to bring 100,000 people to the city. You mentioned the NFL draft. We're expecting hundreds of thousands of visitors, not just from the United States, because the NFL is a global sport now.
Yeah.
We're very confident that we're going to see plenty of people from the UK here next year, April 25th through the 27th in 2024. This is a city that's on the move.
And finally, what would you say to someone thinking about coming to Detroit on a vacation, on a trip? What would you say to them?
I would say this is the place to be. We've got 4 seasons, beautiful summer weather, an incredible fall. Spring is the most beautiful time to be here because of all the flowers. This is a place that will enrich your soul because you can have a conversation with a Detroiter, find new things out, and just see all of the special parts of what makes America a really welcoming and great country.
Chris, thank you for being so open and honest. I really appreciate you taking the time for this. Find out what Detroit has to offer in our next city guide. We'll show you the best places to go.